If you struggle with feeling anxious, depressed, unfocused, lazy, lethargic, or you have little to no energy to do anything, then some of the all-natural supplements that I'm going to talk about in this video might be able to help you out. The reason you're feeling this way could be a result of having elevated cortisol levels or suboptimal testosterone levels. And these hormones play significant roles in how you feel day to day. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the 5 best all-natural supplements to lower cortisol and increase testosterone. If you're new here, my name's Ben Richardson. I'm a personal trainer, a certified nutrition coach, and a chemical engineer. For years, I suffered from a lot of the nasty symptoms of low testosterone that I just described earlier, like social anxiety, depression, brain fog, low libido, and laziness because I was fat and overweight. And it wasn't until I went through a pretty nasty breakup in college that I finally started to get a grip on my life. So I'm here to share what I've learned along the way with other men to help them improve their health and increase testosterone naturally, just like I did. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, go ahead and subscribe because I do post videos similar to this one every single week. Okay, let's dive in. First, I want to take a quick minute or two to explain the relationship between cortisol and testosterone so that you understand why these supplements are going to be beneficial in the first place. So your gonads actually produce this enzyme called 11-beta-HSD1. Now I want all of you to remember and memorize the name of that enzyme because you're really going to need to know this throughout the entire video. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to remember it. It's just some protein that protects testosterone molecules from being attacked by cortisol. In times of prolonged stress, cortisol levels will start to rise, and if there's too much cortisol floating around in your system, that 11-beta-HSD1 isn't going to be able to protect all the testosterone from the cortisol. It's like trying to fight 100 fifth graders at once. I could definitely take like 17 or 18 fifth graders, but eventually they're going to be able to overpower me by sheer numbers and start giving me noogies and atomic wedgies, or whatever fifth graders do to bully 29-year-old grown men these days. So if you keep your cortisol levels where they should be, then that little 11-beta-HSD1 molecule isn't going to have to work as hard. I mean, remember, its name is 11-beta-HSD1, not 11-alpha-HSD1. It's a little beta-cuck molecule. It's not an alpha-gigachad molecule. So with that being said, let's talk about some of these all-natural supplements that lower cortisol and increase testosterone. So first and foremost is the legendary ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is an herbal supplement widely used in Indian herbal medicine. And a little fun fact for you, the word ashwagandha roughly translates the smell of a horse. It's called ashwagandha because a long time ago in a galaxy far away, ashwagandha was believed to give the consumer the power and performance of a horse. And although that might be a little bit of an exaggeration, the studies seem to indicate that it can effectively lower cortisol and increase testosterone. Ashwagandha is considered to be an adaptogen, which is a term coined by the Russian scientists to describe herbs that bring the body into homeostasis in times of stress. And spoiler alert, a lot of these all-natural supplements that lower cortisol and increase testosterone are adaptogens. And they also coincidentally, or maybe not so coincidentally, are grown in harsh climates like Russia, Siberia, and northern China. That's probably why the Russians beat us all in coming up with a cool name for these compounds, because they were probably all just growing in their backyard and they were like, I will eat this herb to maybe see if it makes me feel good. Okay, that was a pretty bad Russian accent, but I don't even care. I make myself laugh. Anyways, the most beneficial source of ashwagandha is the extract called KSM-66. This study showed that 300 mg of KSM-66 for 60 days was able to reduce cortisol levels by about 27%. And then this study involved 57 young, healthy male participants, which is incredibly important. Showed that ashwagandha was able to reduce exercise-induced muscle damage and increase testosterone levels in men who supplemented with ashwagandha compared to the control group. The subjects that supplemented with ashwagandha even experienced a greater decrease in body fat. I think ashwagandha is definitely one of the best natural testosterone booster supplements out there because it kind of has this dual effect on equalizing cortisol and testosterone. So it's a pretty potent testosterone supplement for something that's all natural. Alright, number 2 is Shandra Chinensis. Shandra Chinensis is a woody vine with red berries native to eastern Russia and northern China. and it's commonly used in East Asia for its stress-reducing properties. In Chinese medicine, both the leaf and the berries are consumed, usually by brewing them into some sort of a tea, but most of the research is based on the berries or some kind of berry powder of Shandra, not the actual leaves. And that's how I'd recommend you take this as well. You might not even be able to get your hands on this herb in its raw form anyway, depending on where you live in the world. So just opt for the supplement extract stuff that the researchers used. Anyway, Shandra has been a part of a lot of scientific research lately. The studies are probably in the thousands by now, so here's some notable ones in relation to the compound's ability to lower cortisol and increase testosterone. This study showed that Shandra Chinensis significantly counteracted the stress response of intense physical exercise and had a profound effect on balancing cortisol levels. And that's pretty much how an adaptogen works. You can see from this graph that it's lowering excessively high cortisol spikes and also increasing the so-called hypocortisol levels back where they normally should be. This study also found that elite athletes who couldn't get a normal training-induced cortisol spike anymore saw a natural cortisol spike come back after taking Shandra extract. Pretty neat stuff. Another nice benefit of this berry is improved blood flow, and that's always nice for helping nutrients get delivered to the tissues and the organs throughout your body, and it can also give you a little bit of an edge in the bedroom by helping you out in the stamina and endurance department. I didn't find any studies that show its ability to increase testosterone, but because of the inverse relationship between testosterone and cortisol, the fact that it lowers excessively high cortisol levels is going to translate into more testosterone. And this goes back to my colorful analogy of beating up 5th graders. If you send 100 5th graders at me, I'm not going to be able to ward them all off. They have strength in numbers, but if you only send like 15 or 20 at me, then yeah, I could take 20 5th graders. And that's what happens when you lower your cortisol levels. Alright, number 3 is Panax Ginseng. I've also seen this being referred to as red Korean ginseng as well. I don't believe there's a difference. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please, but I'm pretty sure it's the same stuff. Probably the most notable thing about Panax Ginseng is its demonstrated ability to improve erection quality and boinking satisfaction. And by boinking, I do mean doing the no pants dance with your special lady friend. This study demonstrated Panax Ginseng's ability to improve erection quality in men with erectile dysfunction, and this study showed Panax Ginseng's ability to increase satisfaction from physical intimacy. Sorry to use all these outlandish terms, but YouTube kind of frowns upon the whole adult-like terminology. The reason Panax Ginseng seems to have these kinds of effects is that it appears to be a potent nitric oxide stimulant. Now, why on earth would this increase testosterone? Because increased satisfaction from intimacy is directly correlated with higher testosterone levels. Let's take a look at a few studies that show Panax Ginseng's ability to increase testosterone as a result of this boost in physical satisfaction. This study showed that Panax Ginseng supplementation was able to increase salivary testosterone levels in women, especially younger women. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who cares about a study that shows an herb's ability to increase testosterone in women? We're men. We have the nutsack, and that's where 99% of testosterone is made. And yes, that is true, but a study done on women is much better evidence of an herb's effectiveness than studies done on rats or mice. I'm also not done yet, so let's take a look at another one. This study involved 60 participants and showed an increase in both free and total testosterone compared to the control group. So this is pretty potent stuff. However, because it's such a popular supplement, a lot of products out there are cheap and lousy. Kind of like multivitamins. You really have to pay attention to the quality of the stuff you're buying. This Solgar brand is pretty good. I'll leave a link to it below in the description. And no, I don't make any money from this. I just want to help you guys not buy crappy products if you decide you want to give this stuff a try. Alright, next up is Rhodiola rosea. Rhodiola rosea is an herb that cultivates the harsh climates of Siberia and northern Asia. Some herbalists and botanists would argue that it's the most beneficial herb for human health that we've discovered so far. Pretty bold claim. There's a really nice handful of peer-reviewed human studies that demonstrate this compound's ability to lower fatigue, increase well-being, improve cognition, and reduce muscle damage. And what these studies have in common is that subjects with elevated cortisol levels do experience lower cortisol levels as a result of consuming this compound. Rhodiola rosea seems to induce the secretion of a compound called neuropeptide Y. Neuropeptide Y is kind of like a neuropeptide that promotes feelings of relaxation, decreases in blood pressure, those sorts of things. Pretty much the exact opposite of what happens when a stress response occurs in your body. Interestingly enough, Rhodiola rosea is rich in a compound called quercetin, which is also found in onions. And quercetin is responsible for the testosterone boosting effects of onions, which by the way is grossly overestimated on the internet, especially the idea that eating raw onions can skyrocket your testosterone levels. However, quercetin has been shown to effectively increase testosterone levels in rats when they were treated with onion juice extract. These effects are very adaptogenic in nature, and they tend to restore the body's hormones into a more natural, healthy state. Your cortisol levels shouldn't be chronically elevated all the time. That's not good. And then last but not least, we have phosphatidylserine. Phosphatidylserine is a naturally occurring phospholipid complex that's present in nearly all the cells in the body. It acts mainly as a signaling molecule between cell membranes, but it also plays other roles like protecting the inside of the cell from oxidative damage. The human body stores roughly 60 grams of phosphatidylserine in various bodily pools in the testes, the lungs, kidneys, muscles, heart, liver, and blood plasma. However, the majority of phosphatidylserine is located in the brain, and that's why you mostly see cognitive benefits associated with it. Interestingly enough, there's a lot of research suggesting that phosphatidylserine can improve cognitive performance. The FDA even granted phosphatidylserine a qualified health claim that states, "The consumption of phosphatidylserine may reduce the risk of dementia and cognitive dysfunction in the elderly." That doesn't happen very often for a whole lot of supplements, but what does all this have to do with cortisol and testosterone? Well, first off, phosphatidylserine has been shown to improve athletic performance by reducing the oxidative stress of exercise. This study that involved 9 healthy men supplemented with 800 mg of phosphatidylserine for only 10 days and saw a statistically significant improvement in the cortisol response to exercise. Secondly, there's evidence that phosphatidylserine can blunt cortisol in a dose-dependent manner while also increasing the exercise-induced rise in testosterone. This study concludes that phosphatidylserine supplementation creates and I'm going to quote from the study here because I really like how it's worded, "It creates a desirable hormonal balance for athletes that seems to attenuate physiological deterioration associated with overtraining." Man, you can tell a scientist wrote that. I'm a millennial engineer. I'd just be like, it makes your hormones go sicko mode. But anyway, there you have it. 5 of the best all-natural supplements to lower cortisol and increase testosterone. These supplements can definitely help you out, but if you don't have your nutrition and your training habits dialed in properly, they're really not going to give you the boost that you're looking for. So if that's something you need, I do have a coaching program that'll help you master the habits that you need to hone in on to increase your testosterone and keep it nice and high and healthy. So if you're interested in learning more, go ahead and fill out the quick form by heading over to the link in the pinned comment below. It only takes like a minute or two, and I'll reach out to set up a quick Zoom call to chat about how I can help. So I hope to hear from you soon, but that's all for this video. If you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Again, if you're new here and you've made it this far, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel as well. Men these days just don't pay close enough attention to their testosterone health, and my channel is dedicated to helping men do just that in a way that's easy and simple to follow and understand. I post content about things like nutrition, fitness, and lifestyle decisions that you can make to increase your testosterone naturally. So go ahead and subscribe for more videos like that, and turn the notification bells on too, so that you're not missing out on any of my latest videos. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate the support, and I also hope you got a lot out of this video too. Good luck in all of your efforts to boost your testosterone and lower your cortisol levels. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.